Okay, I'm just going to start with a little introduction to ePortfolios. Basically, the purpose of ePortfolios is basically so that students can archive their work, whether it be over a period of years or a period of just a year or maybe even a marking period, which is really nice. It allows them to just go back, reflect on what they have done in the past, whether that be from a few weeks ago or again from the beginning of the year. Especially in my field, my area that I teach in, which is language arts and social studies, where we do a lot of writing. It's great because students can go back and they can see where they actually started at and where they ended up. They can see what they improved on, what they still need to improve, and it's very easy for them to compare their old writings to what they are going to be writing about now. And ePortfolios now are great because they can be used for a lot of different mediums of work, not just writing. So there are video and audio files that can be uploaded onto ePortfolios, especially in I could see high school settings where students take a lot of elective, whether that be programming classes or art classes or different creative classes. And the nice thing is that you can even take a video of a physical project that you will make or a picture of that physical project and upload that onto an e-portfolio as well. Again, written work, even though it is probably the easiest one to upload to an e-portfolio, I think it's very important to use, and it's probably, again, the easiest one, so it makes it very simple to actually upload. And then again, projects can be now uploaded, whether that's scanning something in, taking a picture of it, or taking even a video of it. Google Drive, I actually like a lot. And this year in our school district, I've gotten to use it a lot, and I love it. Basically, our school district this year took the initiative to set every student up with a Google account, and we use Google Slides, Google Docs, um, and Google Drive, which is very, very helpful. So advantages of Google Drive are that it's free to use, which is a very, very big thing. It's great that all of these tools are free. You get 15 gigs of storage with that, which I think is excellent, which is a lot of space, especially for if you're saving Microsoft Word documents or Google Doc documents. It's a lot of space. Data is stored on the cloud, which I know I talked recently with our tech manager at our school, and he is thrilled about uh, Google Drive and the fact that we're using it because he told me that it eliminates need for physical servers. They're starting to get rid of some of their physical servers, which means they need less space. They need to spend less money on electricity for those servers, and it's much cheaper, he said, and simpler to just use the cloud with something like Google Drive. And then lastly, for advantages, is I said that it can store a lot of different types of media, which is really great because you can not only store Google Docs, you can store Microsoft Word, you can store video files, audio files, pretty much anything that you can think of as far as that. The disadvantages, however, though, are that if you want to store a lot of large files, this is probably not the best platform to do it on. So, for example, if you have a class that requires a lot of video or audio files to be stored, 15 gigs is a lot if you're dealing with smaller files, but if you have a lot of larger files, it's not going to be a ton of space. One of the disadvantages I put down, especially for me, is that a Google account is required for access, which may not seem like a big deal, but in previous years when I tried to use Google Drive or Google Tools, the one problem was that a lot of students did not have Google accounts, and Google requires that students are at least 13 years of age to get one. So it was kind of an issue of some students wouldn't be allowed to, or some students just did not have that because my students are 11 and 12 years old. Luckily, this year the school sent home permission slips to get parents to sign off on that, and so they were able to set every student up with a Google account, so now they have access to Google Drive. And it has really been helpful because now students don't have to use flash drives anymore to get their work from school and home and back again. They can just go on any computer where they have access to the internet and get on Google Drive, and right there is whatever they were working on. And the last disadvantage that I said was its large multimedia files may consume most of the storage space. So if you want to use it as a wide platform where you're storing documents and then also large projects, those large projects are probably going to take up most of the room. So you won't have a whole lot of other room for other things. And I can actually show some of the advantages of Google Drive here. As you can see, it's different, a lot of different types of files again. So there's PDFs, there are Google Docs, there's an Excel spreadsheet. So a lot of different things that can be stored, and you can also break it up into different file folders as well, which is really nice. The second type of technology that I checked out for ePortfolios was just a blog technology, which I think is kind of an underrated type of ePortfolio software. So one advantage is that a lot of them can be free. I know WordPress is one that's associated with Google, and it's a really great way to just archive your work, and it's free, and it works very, very well. Again, this is a great tool for students to see how far they've progressed throughout the year. They can just very quickly go to a calendar view, see what they did last month, last week, a couple months ago, and then they can go off that, which is really great, especially when we're writing new things and trying to correct some of those things that students have done in the past. It's really good to be able to see that instantly. And especially with WordPress, like I said, it's a smooth, simple design. It's very easy to use, and it doesn't look cluttered at all, which I love. Disadvantages, again, this is one that's not great for larger files or projects. This is a good one for writing. If you want to include a picture or a video, that's also good for that. But again, if you're doing large projects or storing large files, this is probably not the best platform. It is best for written work, and the one disadvantage is that it can be visible to the public if you don't set the proper settings. But there are settings that you can put on so that it's private, so that only maybe one or two people can see it, or so that maybe only a class can see it. So you can set it to private. It's just a matter of knowing how to do that. And the last type of technology I looked at was called RCampus, and I really like this platform, and this one was probably the most traditional type of ePortfolio software. So it allows you to include multimedia files, and this is probably the one that you would want to use if you did have a lot of large multimedia files like videos or audio. It does give you a lifelong portfolio, which I think is great. If you want to have it throughout your entire school, you can do that if you would like. Customizable skins is a kind of nice option, especially for younger students who just want to kind of make it fit to themselves, their personality. One of the things that I really liked about this program was that it allows for an optional access code. So if you want, you can go in, you can apply an access code, and only the people with that access code will be able to view the information on that ePortfolio. The one advantage is that you can go all the way up to 10 gigs of storage, which is great. That's a lot of space. The disadvantage that goes along with that is that the premium as account is the account that allows for the largest storage. So you cannot get a free account, but it only allows 50 megs of storage, which is kind of a small amount of space. But you can sign up for the premium account, which allows you to go into 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 gigabytes. Another disadvantage was that the interface was a little bit cluttered. It's a little bit hard to navigate, but I don't think that was a huge issue. It was just not quite as easy as Google Drive. And again, premium account is required for the maximum customization. There's certain privileges that you get when you sign up for the paid account that you do not have with the free account. So in conclusion, I think that Google Drive was probably the best as far as the data that I gathered from it, from actually using it with the students. It's free, which is excellent. It's easy to use. Even my sixth graders at the beginning of the year, not knowing a whole lot about it, were able to come on, and within a week they were all used to it and using it at home and at school. And again, it's very useful because it comes with Google Docs, Google Slides, all the different Google tools, and students can use it anywhere they need to, and everything is stored on the cloud. RCampus was still a very good platform. I really liked it for multimedia storage. I thought that it would be great if you have a lot to store. It's very private. And then blog technology is just really great for writing. It's very easy to use, and it's quick. So I thought these were all really great technologies to use for ePortfolios.